Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the friendliest day trading program you'll ever experience on the internet. Hi, everybody. It's all about love, peace, and compromise here at the Hit the Bid radio program. If you want to make money with a smile on your face, come and join us. All we do is make money and laugh and play and sing songs. Now sing along with us. Sing it. You know the words. Yes, everybody is beautiful and everyone is awesome. We don't even use bad words. Sing it. It's all about peace, love, and understanding, my friends. Hi, my name is Kenny. I'm a pretty good trader, and I make people money on the internet. But everybody makes everybody money on the internet. But I think that I'm a lot better than everybody you've ever met. And I do it with a smile on my face, with no unpleasantries. All we talk about is peace, love, and compromise and understanding as we make money each day in the market using algorithms. Algorithms. Hey, everybody, good to see you back. We're in the midst of a sell-off, but everything is beautiful.
News across the nation on the scene at the supermarket.
You know this one, you've got a friend in me for life. So if you're wondering why I'm in such a good mood while the market's falling off the face of the earth, is that we're making money. As a retail trader who's been doing this for 30 years, now bring it on home. Because you know, so if you haven't learned of my existence yet, now you know. And my mission in life is to expose. Oh, now I probably just got flagged on TikTok for using the word exposed. I expose the truth behind the markets. The stock market is what we call rigged. Yes, my friends, it's rigged, and it's lovely, and it's beautiful, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. Because if you believe the market's rigged, which it's not a belief anymore, it's a way of life, and you have the rigging, you should be able to make money in the stock market. I know, and we do every day. And if you're just joining us here on TikTok, I want you to do me a favor and also subscribe to my channel on YouTube for the next time I get thrown off TikTok for using colorful language. But today we're only going to be talking about peace, love, and compromise, and flowers, and kittens, and rainbows, and hugs, and kisses, and long walks on the beach whilst you're making money. Isn't it great? All while Diana Ross is in the background. But my name is Kenny Glick, and my website is hitthebid.com, and I'm also known as Hit the Bid Radio. I'm also known as the Abraham of assets, the Barack of bread, the Cain of cash, the David of ducats, the Elijah of earnings, the Frank of funds, the Glick of gelt, the Harry of Hendersons. I've run out of words. But what I do, ladies and gentlemen, on a daily basis, I perform live in front of a studio audience of 200 to 400 to sometimes 1,000 people each and every day, making my life exciting and beautiful, just like a rainbow, just like kittens and love itself. Because what we have is a love and an affair, if you will, with volume-weighted average price. We accept that the market's rigged, and we use the rigging to make profits every day. No longer guessing what the market's going to go, knowing what it's going to do. And that is a moment of empowerment for all of you. And someday we will be together, right? And right now, I'm the king of the road. And if you know where we're going, now you know how to get there.
Trailer for sale or rent.
So if you're just joining us this morning, I'm in a great mood. I'm back on TikTok. We're only talking about peace, love, and compromise and happiness.
Ain't got no cigarettes.
32 millimeter into a 64. Talking about Rolexes.
8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means. King of the road.
You're talking Rolexes with the original box.
Boxcar, midnight train. Destination Bangor, Maine.
So why am I in such a great mood? Well, I'm just pretending. I'm just an angry fella who's pretending to be in a good mood. No, that's not true. I'm in a really good mood today. You know why? Because we've got to trade. I've got to trade. You've got to trade. We've all got to trade because we're all one. Right? I have a trade that I've been developing for the past 30 years. And lately, and when I say lately, I mean 4 years in a row now. 4 whole years. Do you know the long period of time that is? That's 4 years. That includes COVID. Oh, right out of COVID. But for the last 15 years, I've been looking at this one particular setup, right? And then I took an algorithm and I overlaid it. And the algorithm now gets me into a trade that was already working at an enormously wonderful win rate, because you love win rates on the internet. Now the win rate is 100%. Now, nobody in their right mind believes me, right? Nobody should believe me. I have a trade that works every time. Now, remember, I'm saying it is the trade that works every time. I got my ass kicked last night trying to trade aftermarket because it wasn't one of those trades. And the theme is what I'm trying to get through to you is that we have something that works every single time it shows up. Every time. Every time it shows up, you get a profitable trade. And you got that over here, right? So in your left hand, in my imaginary left hand, I've got the holy grail of trading right here. See it? There it is. The holy grail of trading. In my right hand, I've got nothing but, I can't even use the words because I'll probably get thrown off TikTok. You've got nothing but anguish and suffering. Can I use these words? I'm pain and anguish and suffering and frustration and losses and depression and any other negative word you could think of, all in my right hand. What will you choose? The path of righteousness, glory, and winning, or everything negative about life, all rolled up into one? Which will you choose, the left hand or the right hand? Well, I'm going to give you a hint. Take what's in the right hand and throw it over there and stick to what's in the left hand right here. Because in this left hand, there's a few things. In the right hand, there's hundreds of things. And you would think you want to go where there's so many more options. No, not in trading. You want to stick to where there's only a few things to worry about. And with this trade, and this knowledge and the wherewithal and the ability and the luxury to be able to do this at home, to sit on your keister. See what I did there? TikTok? Keister. Huh? Curbing my language. You like that? I got a dump button Oliver's Army's helping me. With this knowledge and the knowledge that I possess from being in the business for 35 years now, using algorithms, the most important thing about the way we trade right now is that for someone who believes they know what they're doing, it reminds me that I don't know. Nobody knows. But when you trade algorithmically, you do know things. And knowing something is better than knowing nothing at all. I know that sounds easy to understand right there, but let me explain it to you on this lovely chart. So right now, if you are short, I'm rooting for you. The market is going down. Some of the players are still short the cues. I'm what is known in the industry as flat right now because I've already made my money, right? So now what you're looking at right here is how to make money as a day trader. It's not about finding a new stock. It's not about finding a stock that's exploding for the day. It's not percentage gains. It's not return on investment. It's not win rates. It's knowing what trade works the best and getting that setup every day. And what is great about these last 4 years is that we went from having 2 or 3 opportunities today to 5 to 10, to 10 to 20, to 20 to 50, 50 to 100. We're now finding these opportunities 50, 75, 100 times a day, where it used to only show up 2 or 3 times. Like I said, the evolution of this trade has been something where someone who has been as jaded and cynical in this industry and has been just absolutely terrorized and frustrated and mortified, and I don't have the words for it. This trade, look at my face, look at my face, look at my face, hear my voice. The passion should be coming through. I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life. It's easy to understand, it's replicable, and it works, and it takes the guessing out of trading. And finally, for the first time in your life, you will have that advantage, or what we like to call in the business, an edge. And that edge is you are now trading algorithmically, right? Algorithmically, and you're joining in on the institutional manipulation of the market while they're manipulating the stock. So when you trade only VWAP and price action, you will now go from the manipulated to what we're doing today is we're the manipulators. Nobody tells us what we're doing. We're in the ebb and flow of every trade because we understand that price action trumps, sorry to use that word, but price action trumps all time and space. So depending on what you believe in, volume weighted average price, my friend, yes, VWAP for short. And please don't ever call it VWAP. There is no O in VWAP. VWAP, my friends, is the institutional order flow indicator that you need in your life to survive as a day trader or any trader. And if you embrace it to the point where it becomes your religion, you will become a great trader, not just a good trader, you become a great trader. So let's take a moment right now for my friends on YouTube and my friends on TikTok. And if you guys are on TikTok, I want you to find me right now on YouTube and join my YouTube program. And I will also bless you with my handsome, devilish, young, good-looking face. Because I'm pushing 55 years old, and I'm handsome. Look at me. I know, hard to believe. And by the way, flattery goes a long way. I love when people tell me, "My God, you don't look a day over 40." That's right, and then you get a free month on my website. So let me see if I can get this camera to work. Hang on a second. Boom, boom, bang, bang. And let's go say hello to our friends on the YouTube stream. And then we're all going to take a moment together. What do I trade? I trade anything that moves, my friend. Stocks, crypto even, but nobody needs crypto in their life anymore. Stocks, futures, options, anything that moves, my friend. Anything that moves, it gets volume. That volume becomes algorithmic. The algorithmic volume-weighted average price tells you where the thing is going to go, whether it be a stock, an ETF, an index, or like I said, options, futures, crypto, what you're digging. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Right now, hang on a second. Here you go. I'm going to show you. Oh, maybe I won't show it to you. Oh, there I am. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you, YouTube. Hey, it's me again. Hey, look, we're crossing the streams right now. What's going on with the market right now? What's going on in the market right now is we are in what we call flux. We're in flux. We're in a massive trading range. The inability to rally, yet the inability to really crash. We're having what we call a bearish moment, but we're still in a bull market, which leads to massive sideways action. That sideways action, generally people lose money in. The day trader, this is our holiday. This is Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Arbor Day, whichever holiday, Festivus, the Festivus for the rest of us. This is by far, which, and again, I could say this, that I am the original day trader. Please Google my name if you have a chance later. My name is Kenny Glick, Kenny Glick, AOL.com. That's right. Feel free to email me personally, right to my email address, so you can enjoy the stylings of what we do every morning for 4 hours a day, 8 to 12, nonstop. And then we take an hour break sometimes, and then we come back with my pal Salad when he's free or I'm free, and we never stop. It's an ongoing 8-hour symposium of information and learning and profit making. So right now, take a moment. And if you've never heard of VWAP, if you've never embraced the VWAP or allowed the VWAP to enter your soul, here's our moment to share together. Close your eyes and relax. And breathe in the VWAP. And breathe out the doubt. Breathe in the VWAP. And breathe out the stochastics. One more time. Breathe in the VWAP. Feel the love and the warmth embracing your body. And breathe out the fear. Yay. So, my friends, if you will, if you can, if you do, bless me with your attention here for just roughly 15 or 20 minutes. Are you ready? What you're going to do here on TikTok and on YouTube, and the TikTokers want to join me on YouTube, and the YouTubers want to join me on TikTok. My name is Kenny Glick. If you Google me, you will find me across all time and space. You will also realize that I am 55 years old, handsome as I am, unbelievably young looking. I know. Stunning as well. The passion, if some would call the fury, there's a reason I'm this passionate after doing this my whole life. There's a reason. Because as much as I see this trade and how well it works, to see it work every single day, the way it works, it is really just too unbelievable to believe, but yet here we are. Here we are again, just using blue lines and orange lines on path. Blue lines and orange lines on Dollar General. A trade that hasn't failed us in 4 years. And you want to debate? You want to take other trades? You want to think about what's going to happen next week? You want to know an opinion on Tesla or Amazon? For what? For what? If you stick to the game plan that we bestow upon you on each and every morning with the names to trade around the parameters, you, unless there's something seriously not right, you see what I did there? I could have said a lot of other things there. Unless something's seriously not right, you should come out ahead if you consistently take a trade that works every time it shows up. Now, again, does that mean you're buying something at 9:30 and holding till 4 o'clock? No. Far be it from that. But when this trade shows up, it provides you with a winning trade to the point where you should be able to make not just a living at this, a well-paid living as your own boss with nobody to answer to, which is my favorite part. Being able to work at home, which sometimes is good, sometimes it's bad. And again, I've been living at home, working at home now since 2012. I have gone off the deep end. But that's okay. My dementia, if I could say that word online, my psychosis, my frustration, my mental illness, if you will, is your ticket to success. Because why am I this way? Why? Because I have spent 30 years making these mistakes that you're all about to make. Here I am saying, stop. Don't do those things. I've got something to focus on. Here, I've spent 35 years cultivating, searching, waiting, and I found it. The holy grail of trading. Yes. The more skeptical you are, the better. The more jaded you are, the better. Because, my friends, when you see this trade, as the Dollar General rises from the ashes and makes its way to the orange line, you too shall be amazed. Rise, Dollar General. Rise from the depths of the VWAP faux show, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, I bestow upon you the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. My friends, this is the greatest market I have ever seen. Could I be this passionate about something after witnessing it for this long? You think I'd be bored? But if making money is boring, that's where you want to be. If making money becomes monotonous, sign me up. If making money has become redundant, I'm in. Let's think or swim, my friend. I have a lot of hats. Aha, literally, I have a lot of hats. I wear a lot of hats. You like the dead? This whole time we're all in this trade. What are you talking about? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest trade, the 1 minute to the multi-day. And ladies and gentlemen, if you were not trading the path today, why? A faux show, bro, to the VWAP to the orange line. And then, as I consistently say, why not just trade the same symbol again and again if the setup is there? So we had a perfection trade, faux show, VWAP bro, break, blue line, orange line. And then the stock sold off. So in that conversation I just had, if you're buying blue and you get to orange and you've sold, that's a winning trade. But let's say you bought it at 11.25, where the entry point was. And this thing went all the way to 11.88 and you didn't take profits. And then you wound up getting out flat. That's a losing trade because you're a loser. Not officially a loser. I'm not insulting you. You're the problem. You're the reason you didn't make money. You never let a stock go from blue line to orange line without taking some profit. If not, 80% of the trade's done. And the reason you want to be getting out of these trades is that you get to revisit if it reforms, a la this wonderful path trade today. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. You're getting paid out of the gate. And next thing you know, you're getting stopped out because we place our stops on prices where this thing came from. So if you sold some 11.85, fantastic. And then 11.75, you got stopped out of some more. And then by 11.48, 47, that was our last stop, we get done. And then it breaks VWAP. And you're thinking, wow, what a great sell. But then what happens? That's right, my friends. The chart pattern replicates, giving you another opportunity to buy it, fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break at 11.37 for an exact replica of the trade that you just missed. So whilst the trader that thinks they can buy at 8, 9:30 and hold till 4 o'clock, you might still be in this name where the savvy VWAPian algorithmic trader has bought it, sold some more, sold the rest, and then got into the trade again. And now we've made money on the same trade twice, whereas the original buyer, he might be still in it or possibly just sold it for a small loss or a small gain because they don't appreciate the wonderful world of VWAP algorithmic trading around earnings reports. And then we've got Dollar General, my friend. Holy cow. Yes, indeed. The Dollar General, which we're all still long from the original entry, but in the same exact posture as the path trade. So why are we trading Dollar General? Because it was gap down on earnings. Do we love stocks that gap down on earnings? We absolutely do. Fake them out, shake them out. VWAP break. We got paid. Next thing you know, possibly stopped out. New entry. So one person's stop out, remember, could be somebody else's entry. One man gathers what another man spills. So then you're like, oh, really? Oh, I really wish I would have bought this thing on that last pullback. And then look what happens, my friends. The wonderful world of VWAP as it acts as a magnet. Now, I would say something more colorful there, like analogies, but I'm not sure where TikTok and my analogies go hand in hand. So I'm just going to continue with the ability to understand the market mechanics around VWAP is what we instill in you. So once you have the blue line and the orange line on your screen, you will understand that, oh, this isn't disappointing. This is a new opportunity for a fake out, shake out, VWAP break, test from on top, and a brand new trade at 134. Now you're only risking 70 cents on the trade because your fake out, shake out area is right there. And now you're back in and you're having the best trade of the day on the third one because the stock is basically convinced shorters here, convinced shorters here, got the longs out, and now the stock is retaking and making back all of its glory from this morning, which is where you look to be selling some with a new target of 139.50 And now your stop is basically right there at that 135.50. So staying focused on the same stocks on the same day, using the same chart pattern. You've had $3 generals, 2 path trades, the QQQ. I'm not going to say I was in, but a lot of you guys were short in the Qs. Phenomenal. Here it made it very difficult to want to stay short as it faux showed, but didn't bro. And right now, if you're still short the Qs, same exact scenario. Just don't let it go back above VWAP. You see how it broke VWAP, but then the test failed. If it breaks the VWAP and then tests from underneath, on top, and then holds it, then you know you got to get out. And ladies and gentlemen, right now, we are sitting on what is known as a perfect day. 3 trades, 3 winners. We had Oracle this morning. And let me just show you the Oracle trade. See, most of the time, you sell a stock, what happens? It keeps going up without you, and you get all upset about it, right? Remember the times where you top ticked it, and then it rolled over, and you did the right thing. Because trading is so hard already. It's the emotions and the frustration that eat you alive. And that emotion and that frustration will come back and prevent you from taking the next trade. When you know the setup is here, just take the trade. You know this trade works. Doesn't matter what happened before, after, last week, same stock, different stock. Every trade is independent from the next one as long as you're getting that wonderful setup around VWAP and price action. And it is possibly there. I don't think there's ever been a market that's as good as this to be a day trader ever in the history of trading. And like I said, I was here when day trading started, considering we're the first ones that called ourselves day traders back in 1995. And here we are all these years later. Never been better. So if you are joining us, TikTokers, YouTubers, TikTokers meet the YouTubers, YouTubers meet the TikTokers, I'd like to get you all together in one room. And that room would be the hitthebid.com room. I want to get to know you. Usually we do a Thursday night show. That's not happening today. I'll be around tomorrow. I'll be around next Monday. I'll be around Tuesday. I'll be around Wednesday in the morning. And then we got some serious things to talk about next week. So if you don't know, YouTubers, TikTokers, YouTubers, I do a show every day at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? My TikTokers, I got to be very cautious with what I do on TikTok now because I've been now thrown off TikTok 8 times. I don't know what the record is, but thank you. Thank you very much. I've been thrown off TikTok 8 individual times. Yes, I know. I've been warned 12 times, but literally thrown off. One time it was for a whole week. This time they only banned me for 3 days. Can you make this 1,000 into something? Yes, give it to me. Just give me the money. I will give you 1,100 at the end of the year. Now, would you take that deal? If I said I will, if you give me $1,000, I will give you $1,100 a year from now. Would you take that deal? So you wouldn't. That's 10% on your money, Holmes. Now let me say that again. Would you take 10% on your money right now in a year? The answer is yes. You should always. If somebody says I could give you 10% on your money in a year, your answer is yes. And if I could make 10% a year on money guaranteed, I'm signing up. I'll give you all my money. But as far as trading is concerned, this trade that I have developed here, it is unbelievable. But you know what was really special about it today? I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to work because this stock path is so awful. It's so awful, so terrible, so disappointing, so horrifying. It's just a piece of garbage. And it turns into a fantastic long trade because it's not about what the companies do anymore. It's not about who owns them or the CEO. It's not about what industry they're in. Nothing matters, because all you do as a day trader is you trade price action. And the price action is better the day after a company reports earnings. You don't have to know what they do. You don't even know if the earnings are good or bad. You'd rather them be bad, because the stock will go down first and then it will try to go back up, like Dollar General. And if you're still in Dollar General, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen if you're in the Dollar General right now? Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get an amen if you're still in the Dollar General? Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Dollar General. Who even trades Dollar General? We do. Why? Because they reported earnings. Stock was down below VWAP the whole morning. All morning. Nobody's liking Dollar General. So what are we doing? We're waiting for the washout so we can buy Dollar General. 1, 2, 3. Pretty damn great buys. And now you got paid, and you're getting paid some more. And what's unique about this also, taken to this moment right now, as we're spending it together, watching as our stock is going higher whilst the market's going down. Whilst the market's going down, we're in a long trade. You know what that's called in the business? I'll tell you what that's called. That's called savvy. We're the savviest, right? But how do you remain savvy? How do you remain this awesome? How can you keep outperforming the market? How do you keep finding winners? The answer is... The answer is VWAP. It's always been the answer. Continues to be the answer. It is the only answer. It's the only way to trade, because the VWAP is the market. So you are no longer guessing what stocks are going to do. You literally know. You don't know if they're going to go up or down, but you know that you can consistently put on trades where you have limited risk. I didn't mean to raise my voice. I'm not getting angry. Limited risk. I'm not saying anything angry. I'm not cyberbullying. Oh, I can't even say the word cyberbully out loud. Oh, now I am getting banned. Flowers and love. Peace, love, and happiness. Cats, long walks on the beach. Hugs and kisses. Love, peace, compassion are the pillars of Kenny Glick's life. Happy thoughts. Happy, happy thoughts and flowers and rainbows. Yay. Thank you. So with this trade, my friends, with this one trade, you will be able to trade any environment, any product, in fact. You like crypto? Let me show you some crypto stocks today for you. MSTR, right? You love yourself some crypto? Well, here you go. Even the crypto obeys the VWAP, right? Rejected at prior day VWAP, rolls over and breaks the VWAP. Prior day VWAP rejection, roll over through the 1 minute, you're a shorter. Rejected, confirming you're short. And then look where it went back to, that red line, which was something from the other day where we were trading the stock. That's why I like leaving these lines up there. And it was probably some pivot point from the other day that you just hit that pivot. And then look what happens. That pivot, which was important a couple of days ago, look how it lined up again. You get a little faux show, and now you got a reason to be believing in the crypto, and you're loving MSTR at 135, and you're banging it out here at 137. What is VWAP? Volume weighted average price, my friend. So if you're just joining us, my name is Kenny Glick. I am the VWAP Pied Piper. I am the gospel singer of VWAP. I am the evangelistic, I don't know what they call themselves. But how would you trade that? What, just buy and hold? We never buy and hold. We buy and we're actively trading. We're shorting and we're actively trading. Always actively trading. But right now, if you're in MSTR or if you're in any market particularly, but more important, let's focus on the Dollar General. The Dollar General and the path. The Dollar General and the Path simultaneously hitting highs as we're sitting here. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get an amen from the guy that finally took his first blue line to orange line trade? Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen from somebody on the TikTok? Can I get a couple of amens from the people on the YouTube? Can I get a couple of amens from my friends in Vegas? Can I get a couple of amens from my people who have been with me since 07? Because I can't believe that this trade continues to work 100% of the time. That means every time, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have a trade that works every time? I do. Do you have a trade that works every time? I do. Do you have a trade that works every time? I do. So if you want a trade that works every time, you might want to try VWAP trading, earnings reversals, gap reversion, earnings reversals, volume weighted average price trading. Did I trade AGRZ? I did not, but I can. Watch this. AGRZ. Well, I'll tell you something. You better be looking to sell it, my penny stocking friend. Because if it breaks under 71 cents, it's going to go to 68, and then 65, and then 0. Penny stocks, not really my game, but most penny stocks inevitably will go back to a penny. That's why they call them penny stocks. 99.7% of them are pump and dumps. But you know what I love? Pump and dumps. You know why? You know why? Because the pump and then the dump. You could trade anything you want as long as you're using VWAP. And you see how your pump and dump has held prior day VWAP and holding? It's a reason to be a buyer. It just held the blue line. You're still a buyer. But now you know something. If it breaks back below this price, you're going to go say hello to its friends down here. And then if it breaks that pivot right there, you're probably going to give it back to 58 cents. But for now, you're still in that uptrend. You just get confirmed by VWAP, which is really interesting. Once again, it even works on 73-cent stocks. Somebody said something about posting losers. Oh, you want to hear about losers? Oh, I can tell you. Come over. Come on over. That's mostly what I'm talking about. Time frame on the VWAP. I talk usually 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then I look at days worth of VWAP, weeks, months, years, and decades. So all time frames. But yeah, if you want to talk about losers, man, oh yeah, come on over. My wife will love you. But we're trying to stay positive today. Of course there's losers. Not VWAP trading. Non-VWAP trading is losing. But we're winning right now because Dollar General is life-changing now. This ain't just a good trade. This is an awakening, right? This Dollar General long trade right now, this isn't just a good trade. This is a spiritual awakening, if you will. Do I look at EBITDA? No, you're funny. EBITDA. That's all, folks. Nobody cares about EBITDA. Nobody cares about fundamentals. Nobody cares about economic data. Nobody even cares that Dollar General is Dollar General. We're just trading price action. Dollar General could be a tech company, an ice cream manufacturer, or they create these little handy-dandy flossing tools, which I love. But it doesn't matter. That's what makes this trade so much more fun, so exciting. And if you're in the Dollar General, what I want you to do is I want you to offer out a little bit right here at 139.92, 93, and 94. As it approaches 140, as it hits 140, sold to you. Now what do we do that we sold some at 139.90? What do we do now? Do you sell it all? Do you sell it all? You don't sell it all. You don't sell it all because you've got to believe it's going higher. And we're in the driver's seat now, right? So now that we got to 140, you raise your stop to that last battle area. That last battle was fought at 138.09. And now that is your stop on the rest. You get it? So once price establishes itself, you lock in the trade. So once you got to this magical orange line, you were very, very content. We wanted to see we get to the 140. We got the 140. And now we should battle here at the new orange line. And now we grab 2 days worth of data and we see, oh, so 2 days worth of VWAP's up there at 140, 150. Kenny, are you saying this stock could go to 140, 150? I certainly am. Why wouldn't I say that? But now that we're out of 80% of this trade, we're down to the last 20%. We don't even care what happens. Well, I kind of care because I want to make more money. So do I. So what do? With these last 200 shares, you raise your stop to 138.09, not caring if you sell the other 200, and you offer out 100 at 151.43 and then 142.50. And let me show you something else. Here's 3 days worth of VWAP. That's at 142. 4 days worth of VWAP. That's 142.64. 5 days worth of VWAP, basically where most stocks will live, between the 1 and the 5. The 5 still below where the stock was spiking this morning. Remember, the first move was up on their earnings. Then it tanked. So you got to start factoring in that this could make it all back. But now you've won. And you don't want to become a loser after winning. This is a monster trade. You lock it up, right? And now you're sitting here going, all right, let's see if we can get another $500 out of this trade, and you're willing to risk 400. You understand what I'm saying? This is all about my sizing. I got 200 shares left, right? Now I just sold 139.90. Now I'm feeling lovely. I'm not feeling lovely that it's about to roll over and die, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it roll over and die and sacrifice some of my profit to see what happens at 138.09. Now, you don't have to do this. If you're saying, hey, bro, I just did blue line, orange line. This trade is rocking. I'm out. Congrats. Do it. I never sell anything all at one price, but now I've sold majority of this trade. Phenomenal trade. And now I'm going to let it breathe because I want to see. I want to let the stock tell me what it's going to do. Breaks 138.09. It's telling me it wants to go lower. I'm out. Holds up here. Starts to rally again. I'm looking for 140, 143, and 143.17. And now you got your stop in. Now you don't care. And that's where you want to be. The less you care about the trade you're in, the better you do. You're sitting there going, oh, God. Oh, God. Ah. How are you going to make money? Scared money makes no money. Now, where are my faux show brewers on NVTS, right? We got to the 10. We got to the 10. You know what they do around the 10s. They tend to break them down by an eighth, and then they come back, and you could pick them up at 10 for the VWAP retrace. All these concepts I do every single day. So these trades that I'm describing, my YouTubers and my TikTok friends, this is what me and my pal, I can't even say how I normally describe Solid, this lovely gentleman that I've been working with since 2007, this is what we do. And this is all we do. And there's only 4 to 6 varieties of this trade. Either a stock's going to dip and rip, gap and roll, gap and go, gap and crap. And then there's everything in between. You can only do 4 things. And why 2026/2020, what year is this? 2025/2026 has been the best year and a half of trading is this. Because you're getting a chance to go long and then go short and then go long in the same day on the same stock. So when I talk about me being a perma bear, right? I love being bearish because it just keeps me focused. And I also understand all the mistakes I made as a bear now provide me with profits as I'm exploiting the uneducated bearish shorter who I used to be. I'm not that person anymore. And I never will be, because we're in a market that, as much as it goes down every once in a while, as you're seeing today, it just doesn't ever stay down. But I do think we are going to stay down. But that's irrelevant. I don't want to make that. I don't want to keep putting this March 20th crash in your head. And by the way, if the market crashes March 20th, this is a prediction that I made about 3 months ago. If it happens, it happens. It's all lining up like I predicted. But really, if it happens on the 23rd, I still want credit. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong, because I was right about everything I did today. The money is in my account. The money's in your account. And now you've got some money to speculate. Remember, that's right-hand stuff. That's right-hand stuff. Speculating on something that may happen, that's in the right hand. What happens in the right hand? Does anything good happen? No, left hand. Left hand's where all the awesomeness is. Left hand are VWAP reversals on earnings reports. This hand, where all the trades work. Remember, March 20th crash, right hand. That's speculation. I think I'm going to be right. Irrelevant. Who cares? Right hand. I want to stay right here. The magical left hand. And I would say something else, but I'd probably get banned from TikTok about left hands. You know what I'm saying there, TikTok? Trying to be subtle. You guys, you married guys know what I'm talking about. Left hand? Nothing? Going over your head? No, it's reversed on TikTok, yeah. But right now, look at what we're doing right here. NVTS just brought it up, right? Right? And again, I'm not in this trade, not pretending I am, right? But if I was watching it as one of my favorite stocks to trade and I saw a faux show at a big fat whole number, this is the kind of trade, my friends, where I'm talking about when you get into ebb and flow, algorithmic trading as a day trader, opportunity finds you. So if this NVTS trade was to show up on a Friday, these $10 options just now at around 11:26 this morning would have been sitting here at 15 cents. Because you're talking 11:30 option expiration Fridays. The $10, sorry, the 1050s would probably been 3 or 4 cents. The 10s, yeah, maybe 15 cents. And if you would have bought them at 15 cents, right now they're worth 50. And that's a 200, 250% trade. It's these little tiny ones on Fridays that make you lots of money. Obviously, you know, like those Fords and the Cloves and, you know, the Open and the Rig and all that stuff. But it's about taking the highest quality, successful trades, and then you have the ammunition or the, I guess, the house money, if you will, to gamble on some other stuff. And that's my time. Don't forget to tip your bartenders. And if you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, don't drive. This is it, my friends. This is the holy grail of trading. I've spent my entire life working on this. And it's like I wake up in the morning thinking, is this the day where they're not going to work? And you know what? March 12th, 2026, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Add it to the list. Yesterday, Nike, Oracle. Today, Dollar General and Path. 2 for 2. And these aren't even full-blown reversals. These are just VWAP to VWAP. The full-blown reversal trade is when the Path gets over the prior day, holds the prior day, builds from there, and keeps going. These have just been phenomenal trades. Blue line, orange line. If we were in a healthier market, you get blue line, orange line break, hold from on top, and then rally. But that's what's so special about the market we're in. We know that prior day VWAP has been resistance. And we're treating it perfectly. Dollar General, right? There's no coincidence there's a battle going on at the prior day VWAP because that's how the algorithms are programmed. So all we do as humans, we're just following the money of the algorithms because the algorithms are the market. And like I said, instead of fighting the market or trying to beat the market, you are the market, right? Somebody cue up Bruce Lee now. Water can flow or it can quash. Water fills the cup, it becomes the cup. Water goes into a bowl, it becomes the bowl. Be water, my friends. So, again, and again, and again, I can reiterate this stuff every day, and I will. Because when making money becomes monotonous and redundant, you are doing the right thing. And let me just bring this all home. I'm not saying that every trade I do works, because last night I did something that is in the rule book of not to do. Aftermarket earnings trades, because the lack of liquidity gets you. And I got smoked. This is the path last night. Chopping, explodes. Then it tanks, and then it starts to come back. So I figured this tank job was the manipulation. They tried to wipe everybody out, and I came in on this candle, right? So right here, I'm buying, even though I promised myself I would not trade aftermarket, because pre-market's different. Aftermarket's, it's so illiquid, and I'm just very unlucky, I guess. And here I am buying it. And I figured, all right, 1268, I'll probably get $13. I'm risking 35 cents. Let me buy 1,000 shares. And then it dips. And then it breaks. And then I'm convinced. Where's my friend who wants to know if I add to my position? Yeah, I added 1,300 more shares. So I'm up 2,300 shares. Here we go. This thing's about to rip to 13. And then, no. And I wound up losing close to $1,800 in 3 minutes. Was this a VWAP trade? Nope. Was it a faux show, bro? Nope. Was it a faux show, bro, VWAP break? Nope. Was it a VWAP to blue line, orange line? Nope. It was trading what I hoped to have happen in the aftermarket when I promised myself I would never trade in the aftermarket ever again, and I got smoked. So you know what I'll be doing now? Never trading in the aftermarket. I try once or twice a year. I usually get fucking hammered. Oh, no, I just broke the streak. Sorry, TikTok. Nobody uses bad language. You didn't even hear that just now. Nobody uses bad language on the internet. Everyone's in love with each other. Let's hug it out. I didn't mean to use a bad word. Please don't ban me. I love you. I love you, TikTok. Please don't ban me. I promise not to use bad words. I'm sorry. Rainbows, kittens, presents, flowers. And that's my story. So when I say just avoid everything in the right hand and stick with left hand trading, I am the living, breathing embodiment of someone who has a hard time doing that, and it's my trade. What did I miss? I gotta know, bro. What do you want to know? Oh, these shorts? Yeah, these are probably from me. Yeah, this shirt's got to be at least 25 years old. I never leave the house, and if it wasn't for my wife, I'd still be dressed with Champion sweatshirts and Jabot jeans. Am I cool or not cool in these? Are they cool again? See, if you see it, wow. 20 years later, everything always comes back. So then you're cool again. Like Champion sweatshirts are back. Champions came back. Carhartt sweatshirts came back. Are Reebok high tops coming back? Because I still got a pair of those somewhere. Pumas came back. I love my Pumas. Yeah. Thank you for noticing my fancy garb. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right, it's 12 o'clock. What's up, my YouTubing friends? So my TikTokers, like I said, I'm not joking around. I've been thrown off TikTok 8 different times for cyberbullying, aggressive violent behavior. Me? Uh-oh. I thought I was getting warned there. So I don't even want to tell the story, but just join me on YouTube. Email me right now. Let's get to know each other. I'm not going to be around tonight, but I'll be around tomorrow. Email me, and I'm going to throw you into what we call the dungeon. It's the subterranean version of my real website. But right now, we're doing the show on both channels just to let you YouTubers and TikTokers in on how phenomenally awesome my pal Solid and I trade around volume weighted average price. And let me get to the sales pitch before I go and eat lunch. I'm not trying to sell you something. That's the pitch. What I do, right, is I do it the right way, the way I treat everybody, the way it should be done. Wait a minute. What happened to my stock? Okay. I don't remember selling this thing, but okay. So let me finish this thought. I've been doing this since 07, right? And ever since I started, my father and I, who were always looking for an advantage in trading, we used to subscribe to newsletters, right? And then DVDs, CDs, DVDs that came around. We would buy this stuff, right? As long as there was a money back guarantee. And most of the time we got our money back, except for one guy. And then we found one guy who was really awesome. He really didn't know what he did. This guy, Stephen Lee, awesome. Fast forward 25 years later, I'm in the industry now. And I worked for a company where they would sell something for $15,000. 15 grand. Imagine having that conviction that you're about to plop down $15,000 for an education in stock trading. And you got an education. It was a 2-week course. You got a fancy spiral notebook. You could go online at the time, which was kind of jittery because it was new to the internet. But you actually went to my pal's house. He set up his basement as a classroom. Right? 15 grand. Now, he pretended that he was going to give you a trading account once you completed this boot camp. Right? Basically, the course was 10 grand, and he took 5 grand of your own money, put it in an account, and said, now you've got a day trading account. He wasn't doing you any favors. Anyway, lots of information, spiral notebook, even a loose leaf binder, class every day, basically 9 to 5. He took you out to lunch, even though you were paying it. And then I came in on day 9, and I talked a lot. I talked about options and volatility and different strategies because I was an option principal at the time. 15 grand for 2 weeks. 15 grand. And again, there was no proof this person had any knowledge of any what they were talking about, and people were buying this thing from him, right? And then we launched, and then we had a chat room where I would be the moderator. He would be there for a half an hour, and then he'd leave because he had that, because he was the boss, so he could leave. I left. I stayed, right? So what was I doing in the chat room? I'm reiterating all the stuff that these people learned in those 2 weeks. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, this is where all the learning happens. Live, showing the trades, getting familiar with the ebb and flow of the markets. And I was like, you know what? This guy's robbing people. I'll do it for $1,000. I'll do it for $1,000. Forget the classroom. Just meet me in a chat room. Give me $1,000. You hang out with me for the year. And that's how this whole thing really got born. And again, I ran a chat room back in 1996, but I can't talk about it on TikTok. But I've been doing this since day one. And what I've also been doing since day one is I prove my worth to people. I don't want you to pay. I don't want you to don't pay. I'm glad you want to pay because I convinced you because I'm a handsome, debonair, fancy lad, whatever, and you dig my face for some reason. You want to pay me. I tell people, no, relax. You get 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks, hang out, see if this is what you really want to do. Some people are like, no, I really just want to pay you right now. I'm like, no, it's okay. Who refuses money? Me. Because I want to make sure people are getting themselves into the right thing. Because I worked for a couple of companies where they were pitching my trading room to people that didn't even have $5,000 to their name. How are you going to trade when you got no cash? Or people that think that this is just some sort of pressing a button at 9:30 and selling at 4. It's a job, and it's the greatest job ever. So fast forward, right? So what I do now is I give everybody 2 weeks, except Todd. Yeah, Todd. I'm talking to you, Todd. Todd, if you're out there, listen, I got your email. You've now requested, I went back and checked. You've requested a free trial because you want to get familiar with what we're doing 17 times. I got to cut you off, Todd. Sorry. Todd, I think it's time to pony up the cash. The guy's off. I've given this guy 16 trials to my room. He's still not convinced, but he keeps coming back and he keeps sending me email about how awesome I am. We're done. Todd, if you're out there, last chance, Todd. I appreciate your emails, but I got to cut you off somewhere. Usually it's 3 trials as much as 17 trials, Todd. What's going to be different this time? It's still the same trade. Come on, Todd. Should have get off the pot. Oh, no, I can't say that on TikTok. Nobody uses those words. Nobody even goes to the bathroom. Sorry, I didn't even mean to imply that. Peace, love, rainbows, chocolate chip cookies, exquisite, gooey chocolate chip cookies, melting in your mouth with goodness and love. Mmm, yummy. Am I addicted to trading? No, I'm just a dick. Oh, I got an addiction problem. Yeah, I don't even like going on vacation. I get freaking anxiety now, and I don't even like weekends. Open the market. I got problems. But those problems, right, are alleviated by volume weighted average price. And that's a real thing. Because a lot of people are addicted, quote unquote, to the wrong things. You become familiar with the mistakes and you keep making them. VWAP will snap you out of that. Snap out of it. By the way, this Dollar General trade, take a look. How you like me now that we sold up at that orange line and now the trade's over, sadly. How you like me now, right? It's over. But we sold at the orange line. And yeah, so what? Just got stopped out of the rest. But at my price, I made a decision, and the decision has been made for me. And now I'm back to being flizzy flat. So let's talk about this crash that's going to happen on March 20th. You guys are still feeling it, right? You see the inability for this market to rally, but we're also seeing the inability for it to stay down. So all this choppy sideways that we're in on the Qs, I just think it's going to lead to a sell-off this time instead of a breakout. And the downtrend is still intact, as subtle as it is. Double top, lower high, 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 lower high. Break is what's supposed to happen next. Break is supposed to happen. And if they keep chopping it, and let's say we do the same pattern, weak Thursday, weak-ish Friday, sell off into the close Friday, gap down Sunday, scare everybody, rally Monday, stabilize Tuesday, rally Wednesday, complacent, choppy Thursday, and next thing you know, it's March 19th, start buying those puts. And I'm looking at the 580s. Hopefully, we're going to be buying the March 20th 580s. That's going to be my play. And they were $3 yesterday. Let's see how much they are today. But it's obvious, you see in this market, as much as it doesn't want to rally and the sell-offs are decent enough to make money on finally, Every time it looks like it's going to get worse, we have a vicious, vicious bounce. But the bounces are hitting lower highs each time. So it's just one, to me, it's just one massive setup for the inevitable rug pull down to the yearly VWAP. And, again, it's not that big of a fall at this point. We're looking for 568. I don't think it's going to hold. And then right underneath there is that 550. So that's the 1 year VWAP. And then you got 2 years worth of VWAP. Because if we break the 550, then I think we could get a little bit more. And that's your classic, that's an old 12% sell-off, which is still not that big of a deal. I do think these levels are going to be tested. And the reason I do believe it's going to happen between March 18th and the 23rd, or March 18th to the 24th, it's just a premonition that I had. And we're right there. We're right there in the middle of it right now. So the reason you don't want to go out now and buy the March 20th puts is because what if we go up tomorrow? Those options are going to be cut in half. And then if we rally on Monday, those options will be down 80%. And there's no point in overpaying for something when, again, that's right-hand stuff. Left-hand stuff is where the winning happens. Left-hand tells you to stay liquid, and if the market starts to sell off on the 17th, start nailing it. But UVXY over 50 again, very bearish, not good for the market. The inability to rally obviously is going to frustrate people, and that's where I believe there's going to be a rug pull. The frustration is going to confound and frustrate the bulls, and they're finally going to just say, you know what, I'm going to cash out of some more of this stuff. Plus, going into tax season, it's all lining up. So if you're interested, take a second right now. Email me. My email is kennyglick@aol.com. I'll send you a link. You can hang out for the rest of the afternoon, tomorrow, next week. And then there's going to be a party on my website. Your host, his name is Solid Jello, and we're going to have hopefully a group effort from all the people that work at my company. They're all going to come on and do some airtime. You'll get to know their strategies and keep you company. And then I'll be back 10 days from now or then. But right now, it's about this short. It's been a tough trade still, but man, this market is weak. But man, does it hold up? All right, so today's the 12th. We're talking about the 20th. We're talking about the 19th. We're talking about the 20th and the 23rd. Let's go. Let's see what the March 23rd. Those are probably going to be. Wow. So if you went out, right? I like the fact that they're 420 right now. The 580s are 420. That's 8 days out. That's for the March. That's the March 20th ones, I believe. Wait, let me make sure I'm on the right chain here. March 20th. Yeah. The furthest I'd go out would be March 23rd. But here's what I want you to do. Put them on a watch list and see how they trade. Right? So right now, let's say you want to take the weekend also, grab that. That's $5. So the 580s for $5. If I'm right, these will be worth $20 that day. Still not a bad trade, but I'd rather buy them at $1. So let's just track these. So the 580s, March 23rd's 580s for $5. Pretty easy to remember, right? Keep an eye on those. But my point is, I think the market's going to do what it's doing now. consolidate, chop, get short squeeze enough to get the shorts out, roll over, chop, rally, roll over, rally. And if that rollover and rallying, if chop, 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 chop continues for the next 5 days, these 580s are going to be $1.50. So why buy them at 5? And that's my current. Even though I think I'm going to be right about it, you don't have to speculate 8 days in advance. That's losing. And look, right there on the dime, as we're talking about buying puts, look what the market just did. It just faux showed again. So when I say the market's been going down, but it's virtually impossible to stay short, because if you're playing by rules, and we trade VWAP exclusively, if the market keeps putting in bottoms and then inevitably gets over VWAP and starts breaking over these prior ranges, you're required by law to cover your shorts and possibly even go long for the day. But right now, it's just, it's a tough trade, but still we're trailing down. The VWAP keeps getting rejected. You see how each time it's gone over, it hasn't been able to hold. So that's the trend. So you have to assume this is going to be another one of those moments, right? So the shorter, if you're looking at new trades, you got to think what each side's thinking. The long trader just got excited because they just pivoted at a higher low, and now they're breaking VWAP. The long trader's buying right now. The short trader's going like this. All right, let's see what happens. If it breaks over VWAP and it rolls, the shorter is going to get involved. So right now, the long trader's feeling right because you got a little faux show and a VWAP break. The short is still going, yeah, I don't think so. You failed every time today. Prove it to me. And that's what's going to happen in the next 15, 20 minutes. It's going to prove what it's going to do. So if it can rally above it and hold it, next thing you know, you do not want to be short. And the long trade that you've been waiting for is starting to take root right now. And the long trader, it's an easy trade because if you're buying here, these pivots are your stops, clearly defining the trade with your target to being the orange line. And this is one of those moments where it doesn't matter if the trade works. Obviously, if you're buying the cues right now, you're hoping it goes up. But as long as you can identify why you're doing something, what your risk is, and where you're going to get out if you're wrong, that's trading right there. That's all it is. Right? I try not to trade at 12.17 because generally we start going into the sideways pattern. I try to trade between, right before the market opens up, 8 o'clock to 9:15. Then lately I've been making sure I'm flat going into the open. Haven't really been trading the open too much, but 5 minutes into the open, once you get some ebb and flow, that's my favorite time. 9:40 to 11:30. Awesome time to be trading. Obviously, Dollar General and the Path, both very much worth your weight. You got paid 3 different times on each one of them. So, again, patterns that emerge, sentiment today, what is it? Mostly bearish-ish, choppy. Chances are it's going to stay bearish-ish, choppy. And you're seeing it right here. It's not able to hold VWAP. But now, if it doesn't roll over and die, the longs are still in. They're not going to give up till it breaks down. The shorter who just got short, now let's say you shorted it. And again, look at every scenario. The shorter just said, all right, you guys are going to fail again. They just shorted it. And the short player, right, has limited risk too, because the short's not thinking, oh, I'm going to hold it short and let it go 4 points against me. The shorter is now looking at these prior levels as their stops. Very limited risk. So, and a la the reason the short is getting encouraged, the long trader wants in, and that's why a lot of times you just go sideways because you're battling it out. And that's what happens at VWAP. You shuffle and you jiggle along, waiting to make new decisions. I just described on each side what both parties are thinking, and now they're all waiting. The short's waiting to see if it rolls. The long's waiting to see if it breaks. And here is why you jiggle and shuffle along at VWAP, because it's making that decision literally right in front of your face. What's up, y'all? You guys want to hang out a little bit longer? I'll get a cup of coffee. I think I got one more cup in me. If you guys have any questions, if you'd like me to VWAP some stocks, just throw the symbol out there. I love taking questions. That's why I'm here. And I have nothing else to do with my life. I'll be right back. Which VWAP am I using? It's the 1 minute and the multi-day. We invented it. It grabs a data set, otherwise known as anchored VWAP. But I've spent the last 13 years of my life anchoring it to very specific time zones where they have provided the best trades. But anchored VWAP. What do I have on my screens? It's basically VWAP, watch lists, scanners, and market maker boxes. So top, that's the algorithm running on the chart. Scanners are looking for the volume. Market maker boxes to execute your trades. And that's a bunch of watch lists. I could probably do without that, but it gives me a heads up on sector rotation right there. Yeah, they're coming next week, I hope. You woke, nerd. All right, listen. You see how long trades find you, right? You see how that trade turned into the long? Faux show, bro. Faux show, bro. This is why, like I keep telling you, it's becoming virtually impossible to remain short. You're finally able to make money shorting, but man, oh man, you cannot stay short if you're playing by my rules. And that was one of those moments where, look, you got a faux show, you don't want to be short really anymore. VWAP, little faux show, and there you go. That's that trade right there. If you just took it, let's say you bought the 630, you were risking 30 cents, dollar at most, and the thing pops. That's money right there. All right, if you guys have a chance, I'm gonna go get my but you got it in the microwave. I'll hang out with you for a little bit longer. If you guys got some symbols, what I really like doing, listen, I know what trades work for us. Dollar General, Path, pretty special kind of day. I love it when the trades that I was planning on taking work out like that. And I wasn't even planning on taking the Path trade. I hate that stock. Plus, I got lit up on it yesterday. And I forgot my train of thought now. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you guys have any symbols, what I like doing is taking a look at stocks that you might have traded today and see if this way of trading could have helped you. Some trades just stink. But there are some times where you have a trade where you did the wrong thing, and VWAP could have helped you, or price action trading could have helped you. And that's what I like to discover. So give me a chance. Let me go get my tea. You see that trade right there? That's a scalp, right? I mean, and that's a profitable trade. And now you're back to break even, right? So that was a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. That's a 4 minute setup. But in that 4 minutes, that's not a bad trade, but you had to sell it. I mean, and that's why midday trading is mostly sideways. So if you get a pop, you kind of have to assume you're going to get the drop, because that's how we stay in the sideways chop. Oh, that all rhymed. Did you hear that? If you get the pop, you got to sell the pop because you're in the inside chop. You like that? I just made a limerick. All right. And hopefully I didn't just ruin your trade by sitting back down, but throw me some symbols and I want to show you some trades. You ready? Wolf and DKS. All right. DKS. Now, I didn't trade this one, but it was on our list today. Why? Because they reported earnings, right? Now, I ruined the surprise, but let's say you're coming in. I forgot what the stock was officially. Was it gapped up or down? So officially you're gapped up. So what we look for are VWAP breaks on gapped up stocks to go back to the orange. So blue line's 202, orange line is 196. Hello. That's a 30-second trade. You made 6 points. Wow. But take a look at what it did, inevitably. So the first trade was the fade. You got paid. And then as it rallied, you probably would have got stopped out of the rest. Yeah, I wouldn't even let it go back below. If I was in it, probably would have got out the 200 and the VWAP break. That would have been the end of it. But I would have been shorting at 202, covering 2, covering 197, and then I would have been covering 195, and I would have got stopped out on this move. So now you're not short anymore. This candle right there gives you permission to re-examine this as a short as it gets to the VWAP, and now it can't hold it, and it rolled over, giving you another new short opportunity. But then, inevitably, you got a double bottom break where it breaks and it comes right back, otherwise known as they fake them out, shake them out. And this is where, when you think of default trades, normally we're looking for shorts on stocks that are gapped up on earnings. But in this case, you got paid once on the short, twice on the short. Now you can victimize the lazy shorter because you got a double bottom fake out, shake out right above it, test it right there, and then you start to rally. So once you know what the faux show looks like, there it is, fake them out, shake them out. And then it starts to rally back above prior VWAP. You're a buyer here, just like I explained on the QQQ trade. Look at it from both sides and establish the risk. So now that the shorts had their way, you still got a strong stock getting back above prior day VWAP. Why not buy it here at 197 using those pivots as your new risk parameter? And then you got blue line. You're a seller of some already, and then you shot right back to the same price where this whole thing started. You would be a seller there, and then it rolls over, and now you're a seller back when it breaks down. So from a short, wonderful short, to a reconfirmation of a short, to a possible cover go long, or again, if you're just long bias trade, there's your setup to victimize some shorters, and stock's been pretty much in limbo since. Tippet, oh my God, that stock keeps coming back. TPEP, pump from earlier this morning. We were looking at it. There's your dump. And you never know where these rug pulls are going to come from. But now that it's made a new range, that's the most important. prices of the day. So below VWAP and breaks under the 170, you got to get rid of this thing. Gets back above VWAP, gets back above the 179. And we're talking about a 9-cent range. Obviously, it's a penny stock. But back above these prices, then you look for that recovery. But, I mean, you're talking about 9 cents. Not much risk there. Hymex, yep. I had high expectations for Hymex, and the stock told me to shut up. Normally, and again, I didn't even trade the stock too well today. I did one trade on it, narrowly escaped with a profit, but found this morning. I started doing some work on it, and I was like, all right, if I get a pullback, I'm going to buy it. Didn't buy it. And I was like, all right, if it breaks the high of the day, I'm going to buy it. I didn't buy it. And then I went right back to my, okay, well, I missed a monster move. Maybe I look for a short. And didn't take the short either because I was doing other things. But there it is, the VWAP break to the orange line. And then I got involved. Just about to buy this thing at $12, but they just didn't break 12. I thought for sure it was about to break 12. I was ready to buy it at 12 because we already had a foe and a show and a VWAP break. And then I was sitting here watching it between 11.90 and 12, and they showed this massive size on the offer. I figured this thing was about to blow up, break through 12, but it never broke 12, so I never bought it. Then it came all the way back down to the price that I wish I bought it, and it did this little pattern, which is a little ass crack. Back above prior day VWAP, I finally bought some at 11.45, and I did the right thing by selling when it got to VWAP. And then right here, I'm thinking, here we go. Let's do this. Now we got a great price. We sold some. No way am I selling this stock. I'm thinking, here we go. It's going to break 12, and then it rolls over. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to panic. And then it breaks 11.70, and then I got out. Because once a stock breaks down under the price where I'm not going to let it break, that's why stops take your emotion out of the game. Here I'm thinking I'm going to buy more when it breaks 12. 3 minutes later, I'm dumping the stock. And that is trading at its best right there. I'm 5 minutes away. I'm seriously 7 cents away from probably adding to the trade because it didn't want to break 12, Here I'm in at 11.48, sold some at 11.70. I'm feeling lovely, about to buy it all back and then some. If it broke 12, probably going to do 3,000 shares of this thing. Rolls over, and I wind up selling it. And that's trading. I'm sitting there going, hey, this is going to be awesome. Oh, God, I'm selling it. And that's trading. And now then go back to Dollar General right now. Right? We got what we wanted. And now we're out. It wasn't a good sell. It's really basically at the price I just sold, 138.08. And that's me. But this is me also. Getting paid to the orange line, putting a stop at the pivot, and they got me. Who cares? You're not selling anything all at the one price. No one's buying at the low and selling at the highs. You try to make the meat in the middle, and there's plenty of meat in the middle to make a living at this. Hey, what's up? I am back. I'm back, and I've only dropped one bad word this whole time. I'm practicing. But this is a special kind of day because really just got paid on everything we did. I came in looking at Oracle because we had buying at the end of the day. That buyer showed up this morning, got in a little late, made a little bit of money on a long trade, rolling over, cashing out, probably should have got short. And then we went to the trade that I didn't even think I was going to take, missed the first move, got involved in the second move, not bad. Obviously, Dollar General, pretty sweet. And that's the day. I mean, that's the whole day. And now Q's, I don't know what to feel about this. Look, they don't, like I keep telling you, it looks like we're going down. It feels like we're going down. We do go down, but we don't stay down. I can't express this enough. The harder they make it to remain short, it convinces me more that something bigger is about to happen. let me bring back Isaac one more time. So my mentor, and this is when I had the biggest short position of my life on back in 1990, 2000, and I was getting killed. And this guy was part owner of the company. He knew exactly every trade I was doing. So he came over to me one day. He's like, "Listen, we know what you're doing. You're taking this monster. You had a great run. Now you're just getting your ass kicked." He's like, "But I know what you're doing. I'm with you." He's like, "We're seeing a dash for trash right now." This was February 2000. Dash for trash is when just the worthless stocks are moving, right? Just terrible. And he explained what the dash for trash is. It's like when there's no good stocks to move anymore, people just go scrambling for anything that looks like it could go up. The dash for trash. Now the whole market's a dash for trash, which is weird, but the dash for trash. And this was February. So I was already down like close to 300,000 on this trade, and it was getting out of hand. But at the time I had that kind of money to throw it around, right? So as he explains to me, the market's like an oil tanker. And right now it's been going one direction. The oil tanker, massive boat. It's an oil tanker going one direction. So right now, and he was with me, you're shorting the turn. But the market's still going up because the butt, see what I did there? TikTok, the butt of the, I would have said something else, but the butt of the oil tanker, even while the tanker is starting to make the turn, it can't turn on a right angle. It has to go up and then make the turn. The butt is still up here. And even though it's starting to head the other direction, but once you get momentum in the other direction fully, like when you finally make the turn, it's going to be very hard to stop the momentum of the onslaught that's about to come. And he was right, thankfully. And that $330,000 loss turned into pretty much a double. I remember at one point I was up to $666,000 of profit. I was like, I am the devil. And that became 1.2 million. And then I realized, wow, I'm 27 years old and I'm a millionaire. Woo! I remember just sitting on the bus or the train coming home early from work. And I'd be looking around at people. I'm like, I wonder if anybody knows I'm a millionaire. I just want to tell somebody. Does anybody care? Hey, I just made $1 million. And that's why I became a shorter. All right, I took the money out. I bought a house. What 27-year-old kid's putting down 60%? I put 60% down when I bought my house. I'm almost paid off already. Actually, I would have been paid off by now, but I refinanced that down to 2 3/4. Anyway, but that's why I became addicted to shorting. And when I say addicted, it almost cost me not just my career, my life. Because fast forward to the financial crisis, and yeah, I was short Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, but I left so much money on the table that tweaked my brain. So I was short, I'll tell you roughly, I was short, let's say 10,000 shares of Bear Stearns, just to put a number on it. And that was a small position. And I was up on the position, and then there was a rumor that Warren Buffett was going to buy Bear Stearns. And holy freaking shit. My 30 grand profit gone, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get, and now I'm down like 50 grand on the position. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Once again, shorting is short-lived and I'm going to die. So then the rumor subsided. The market, Bear Stearns started to sell off. And now I'm back to being flat. So I was up 30, down 60, now I'm flat. The emotion of me being flat on that trade was something of joy and thankfulness, which clouded my trade. I was so happy not to lose the 60 that I decided to get out of like 80% of the position. I held a little bit. And then 6 days later, Bear Stearns was at $3. And I'm still not over it. I mean, we're talking an $850,000 trade that I think I made 10 grand on. Pretty upset about it still. And that trade broke me. When I look back now and I analyze myself, that trade broke my soul. It broke me. Because all I could think now is that $1 million trade, that's my money. And then I just started shorting everything in sight. I didn't want to hear it. I'm going to crush everything in sight because I'm owed 850 grand. And that was my attitude. And I didn't want to hear it. Nobody was going to tell me that the market was done going down. Between 2012 and the market had recovered after the financial crisis, I started shorting everything and I wouldn't hear it. Just moving size that I never moved before, getting smoked, crushed on every trade. I couldn't get out of my own way. And I spent 3 years doing that. And I basically was broke. Shutting the website out, meeting solids telling me, no, don't give up. I'm like, I think it's over. And then I said, you know what? I wandered the city for about 6 months like a lunatic. And then I just went back to trading earnings gaps. And then I put VWAP over the chart that I was doing. And I was like, wow, I'm getting into these trades now, sometimes 10% cheaper or more expensive on the trade. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I went back to a trade that really worked well back in the early, the 90s and the early 2000s. I overlaid VWAP on that chart, and then I just started experimenting with that. And here we are. So here we are. And, again, that is why I'm pretty good at what I do now, because all those mistakes, and if you haven't read the book, all these mistakes are written in this book right now. If you haven't got a copy of it, I'll give it to you right now. Please go to the file section on your website right here. Drop down the file menu. You'll see So's Bandits and you'll see Failed Traders. This is the story of how I started my career. And this is the story of how I almost ended my career. Literally. This is the beginning where we just became tape readers and just started, playing these glitches and learning how market mechanics works. And this is just every possible thing you could do wrong in the world of trading, all rolled up into one lovely book. And just download them and read them tonight. They're both great reads. And they're my gift to you, my friends. But you see what we're doing right here on this sideways chop? Again, this is kind of what you expect between 12 and 230. You generally go sideways. It's more apparent in bull markets, like raging bull markets, where you'll rally from 9:30 to about 12:15. You go sideways. You have a little attempt to sell off, and then you rally into the close. That's why bull markets are a lot easier to trade, because you get the same. Our days are quite similar because we're trading around VWAP and price. But when we're raging bull market, the difference, not the market we're in right now, where it's really the same day. Market attempts to sell off in the first 5 minutes. It rallies, it breaks VWAP, it goes straight up for about 2.5 hours, goes sideways for 2.5 hours, sells off for 15 minutes, try to fool you, and then rallies into the close. And it's pretty much the same trade every day, which I don't hate, but I like this environment better because it's exposing Tom Lee, for that matter. Because, everyone's a genius when the market goes up every day. I'd rather see some volatility. And, again, I'm not a fan of crypto. I'm really hoping that whole market gives way. And if you haven't noticed, Bitcoin has been controlling the Qs. So Bitcoin weak, Qs start to sell off. Bitcoin regains some strength, so do the Qs. We're all tied together on everything. And the one thing that stays constant is this VWAP trading around earnings reports and stocks that are, that have a lot of volume. Even something like Tilly's today, right? TYLS, right? Nobody was thinking about buying this thing, right? It's a clothing retailer on the verge of bankruptcy, gapped up, right? Just like yesterday. Let the bulls have their moment at the open, just like Oracle, just like Nike yesterday, and then the truth evolves at the blue line break, and you short this thing and you get paid. But now, look what's what happens. Even on this stock, which we all know is going to be at zero inevitably, it's virtually impossible to stay short, even on stocks that are headed to zero. Because look, if you're playing by the rules, there's the Kardashian bottom, and there's the faux show bro above it. You're covering right here, and then you got a VWAP break. You got to be a cover, and then it rallies and then rolls, but then holds. You can't be short, and that's why you just got this spike, because this spike were the last of the shorts going, God, I guess we have to cover. And that's why this market is so hard for it to go down, because there's always a short covering rally. And if those rallies stick, that becomes more short covering, and the buyers get encouraged. Next thing you know, you're in a rally. Round and round and round we go. All right. Thanks for being here. My name's Kenny Glick. Google me if you guys are interested. I'm not around tonight when I normally am, but I will be around tomorrow, all day next week. Then I'm taking 10 days of going to another country. So be afraid. Weird shit happens when I'm away. I didn't mean to say that. Nothing weird happens ever. Is weird allowed? Is that word allowed? I used a bad word after it. I'm sorry. TikTok's very, they already sent me a warning already. What did I even say? I didn't say nothing. Anyway, but I will be away. Weird stuff happens when I'm away. Be afraid, but only mildly afraid. UVXY will show you the way. And if you have a chance, the chat room will still be open while I'm away. You'll get to meet lots of my friends. And lucky, if you are lucky enough to meet my pal Solid, this is a guy who has taken what I showed him in 07 and ran with it. And then we both discovered this wonderful algorithmic nature of the market. Around 2012, both of us found it. He embraced it and created his own algorithm around it. And it's amazing to see it at work. And he's also a shining beacon of hope for anybody, because he wasn't a trader. He was a tech guy and, doing his thing. And now this is what he does, and he does a great job at it. And he also is a broadcaster on our website, and it's just fantastic to learn something from him, who was basically all self-taught. And coming in within the next couple of weeks or months, or hopefully by next month, we're going to have a nice special section for Solid. So every Tuesday at 1, Solid Jello. Sessions with Solid, going over charts to make sure you guys got your blue lines and orange lines and all your bells and whistles set up. So every Tuesday at 1, that's going to be something special going forward. And then we're going to be doing more of that. I'm going to try to bring our analyst friend on for an hour, at least once a week. And a lot of cool things happening for the Hit the Bid family. And we'll eventually get these algos working in the rangefinder and the alert system and the Glix picks and all that stuff. All right. Cheers, my friends. Nice hanging out with you. Thank you for not kicking me off TikTok today. TikTok Chinese overlords. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Now I get banned. If you'd like to know more about what we do, I trade live every day for 4 hours a day. And I do it the right way. It's free. If you're digging what we do, you hang. If you don't, we part as friends. It's okay. But if you're struggling out there and you're not making money in the greatest trading market of ever, stop what you're doing right now and learn a little bit about VWAP, because I can't say this enough. I've never seen anything like this before, and I invented this. It works every time. Eventually, it's not going to work every time, but even at 50%, you're still going to come out ahead by playing by the rules. All right? I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you Monday. I'll see you Tuesday. I'll see you somewhat of Wednesday, and then off to a cave in Iceland, and it's going to be, can't wait. I've been waiting all my life to go there. So, very excited. All right? KennyGlick@AOL.com. I'll send you an email as soon as I get it. Tell your friends about me, and help me help you, help me help you, and me, and you, because we're all going to take TikTok over, and hopefully by 2027, I'll be the only one here talking about the stock market. All right. Nice hanging with you. Later. All right, TikTokers, YouTubers, I am out of here. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll be back probably about 3 o'clock. And, UVXY still above 49. So scary times. All right, y'all. Be careful. I'll see you soon. Latris on the Menjay.